I like to do this until the card presents itself, or falls out. I have a bunch here that fell out. And prosperity is the one that wanted to come out. That landed in my lap. Hi everyone, it's Gwen from Hummingbird Tarot, and I am today bringing you a video that I made in May of 2018, and I was just digging through older videos so that I could start to put some of them up on YouTube. This is a sample reading. I hope you enjoy this today. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and don't forget to hit the bell so you're notified when I upload a new video. And then I have a couple questions for you all. I use crystals as part of my ritual to just get ready to give a reading. So I was also wondering if there are any of you that have any kind of a ritual that helps get you in the frame of mind and center you in order to prepare for doing a reading. And I'd love to hear from you down in the comments. And these are some of the decks, or these are the decks that I used in the video. If you like to find out more about any of these decks, you can take a look down in the description. This is just a reading that I decided I wanted to do for the month. And let me just tell you some of the things that I have here. I do have some crystals. How I choose the crystals that I want to work with is just how they feel when I hold them. This ball right here, which reminded me of the moon, is actually selenite. When I go in and I'm feeling motivated to buy a crystal, usually what I do for me is I just pick it up, and if I feel it gives me a little zing, then I know that that's what I want. And usually what I do is I just bring the ones to the reading that I feel compelled to have. It's more for me about the ritual of reading, and as I pull out my crystals and I lay out my cloth, I start to get into the mindset of where I need to be. I also have this right here is fluorite, and then I have amber here, and this actually is amethyst, and it was an earring of my grandmother's. This is part of my ritual here. You can take what resonates with you and leave the rest. Every person has their own practice, and they're all a little different. However you decide to do it is right. And I'm using some oracle cards and some tarot cards to do this reading. The tarot cards I'm using is the Book of Shadows Tarot. I'm also going to be using the Sacred Travel Oracle cards, and then I have these daily affirmation cards as well. These are by Cheryl Richardson, and these have different focus items on the back: prosperity, environment, work, relationships, physical health, a lot of different things there. And then they have a little message on the back side as well. I like to use these cards to see what area I really think that I should be focusing on. We're going to go ahead and shuffle these cards here, the daily affirmation cards first. I like to do this until the card presents itself, or falls out. I have a bunch here that fell out. And prosperity is the one that wanted to come out. That landed in my lap. So we're going to take a look at prosperity as the focus for the month. And what does this say? I'm on the road to financial freedom by living well within my means and saving money for a bright and secure future. So we're going to go ahead and pull a tarot card for each week of the month. There's 5 weeks this month, and we're going to see how we can focus on prosperity for that week. And let's go ahead and pull our tarot cards. Week 1. Week 2. Week 3. Week 4. Woo! Just had a whole bunch jump out of the deck. We're not going to take all of them though. We'll take the top one. And here we go with week 5. There. Okay, so how can we focus on prosperity for this month? And let's take a look at this again. I'm on the road to financial freedom by living well within my means and saving money for a bright and secure future. So we're going to take a look at each of these cards and the messages that the cards tell us. There's lots of different ways that you can do a reading. The intuitive reading is just looking at the card and seeing what stands out to you. There are all kinds of meanings that could go with those particular cards, and you just need to decide when you're in the reading what resonates with you for that reading. And for me, the way that I look at this, I call on my spirit guides to really let me know what is it about these cards that I need to focus on? What does it mean to me in my life? And that's the message that I share. They're trying to get across to the person that I'm doing the reading for. So that's what I share during the reading. This card here, Temperance, we're going to look at what does this picture say to us. She's pouring her wine herself, and she's having a nice romantic dinner at home is what that tells me. If they were out at a restaurant, there would be a server pouring that wine. They're having dinner at home, and they are taking the time this month. So in week 1, let's take the time to eat at home, to focus on family, have some good home cooked meals that you've prepared yourself to save some money on your bills for the week. If you look at all the abundance on the table, there are all kinds of things that are fabulous that you can make for dinner yourself instead of eating out. So let's focus this week on preparing some meals. And if you have kids, you can perhaps bring them in and give them a turn at picking the recipe for the night and helping with the grocery shopping and helping to do the cooking. So you can use this really as an opportunity for some family bonding. You have to eat anyways, and you have to cook anyways if you're going to be eating at home. So why not make it a family affair and to create some new memories with your family? Cook together. If your partner is the one who always does the cooking, maybe you take a turn. Or if you're the one that always does the cooking, bring your partner into the kitchen with you, bring your loved ones into the kitchen with you, and have that be part of the week as well, is making some new memories. Okay, so our week 2 card is the wheel. Let's just take a look at this for the moment. So we've got, when we're thinking about resources and prosperity and ways that we're going to focus on financial freedom and living well within the means and saving money, this card here, sometimes we live in a house that is multi-generational. And we've got, if you look here, we've got all different ages. We've got a young child, we've got perhaps a teenager, a woman here, and then what's sometimes referred to as a crone or an older woman. If we're going to focus on our financial freedom, we have to get everybody on board. If you've got family members that are spending like they're always spending and it's a little excessive, let's try to reel it in a little bit. Let them know what the goal is, that we're trying to save money, and get everybody involved and try to have everyone else give some ideas of ways that you can save money. And I know this isn't necessarily the traditional meaning of these cards, but if we're reading these intuitively, these are some things that we can get from this card. And we're also looking at this, if you see this card, it incorporates the seasons as well. You've got, the summertime here that's dry. It's really, the tree is leafless here, so that's going to be winter, spring. So we've got all the different seasons here. So if we want to focus on our financial freedom, this is going to be something that we have to do all seasons as well. Involve everyone in the household, involve all seasons. So you're going to have to start doing this year round. And maybe, this week 1 here, these are the things that you can focus. You can start incorporating these items into your house. So the week 1 is, let's try to eat at home more often. And then week 2, let's make sure that we're involving the entire family and talking to everyone about what we can do and get their buy-in so that they're involved in that as well. So let's go ahead and move to week 3 here. Week 3, we've got, this looks like this could be a mother with a child, or it could be just, an aunt with a nephew. This could be a neighbor. But if you look at some of the activities that they're doing, these are some things that we could call, depends on if you spend money doing it or not, free fun. If you've got, a soccer ball, or you could get the kids outside and playing rather than going to the mall and going shopping or going to the movies or doing other activities that cost money. Get them off their phones, get them off their devices, and get outside. Perhaps use week 3 as a way to get some things done around the house that you've been putting off. And perhaps the gardening might be something that you would hire someone to do for you. And instead, in week 3, you're going to make that decision that these are some things that you're going to start doing for yourself rather than hiring out. So let's go ahead and move to week 4. And week 4, this is the Hermit. And this could be, typically this is about reflection and taking time to take a closer look at things. But if we're reading this intuitively, what I'm seeing is someone at home in their own bathtub. Instead of going to the spa, which can be a fabulous experience and very relaxing, it can be just as relaxing and rewarding to fill the bathtub up with some bubbles and hot water, get a good book, light some candles, chill out in your own space, and it's free. You don't have to spend money to do that. So maybe there's some ways, maybe these are some things, again, just like the gardening. Maybe you'd normally hire a gardener, but you're going to do it yourself. Maybe you'd normally go to the spa, but instead of spending that money on the spa, you're going to stay home and take care of that yourself. Give yourself your own pedicure. Do the manicure yourself. Or if you're not super great at doing it, maybe there's another woman in your life, or you have a daughter or a niece that you can invite over and you can do manis and pedis together while you're watching movies or something, and make an evening out of that. And it can be fun, a bonding experience, and you don't have to pay for it. You use stuff that you already have in your house. So finally, let's finish this up with week 5. And week 5, we have the 6 of Swords. So let's just take a look at this. So with this, when I just look at the picture, let's forget about traditional meanings and everything. I just look at the picture and we see that she's leaving behind what looks like ruin. It's dark, there's trash everywhere. Things are really dark and depressing, and moving into a lighter shade of there's green, everything's growing, there's sunlight. She just looks really happy and joyous to be running into that. What this might say to me is week 5, if you've made some of these changes here, week 5 is when you're going to start to see some of the benefits of these changes that you've made for your prosperity. And you can start to feel, if you've gone a month of making small changes that we've discussed here, you might already start to feel the difference on the road to financial freedom and living well within your means. By saving money for a bright and secure future, maybe you have a little bit extra money to make an extra payment on a credit card that you have due. That might be where you're going to, and I'm just going to go ahead. So the overall theme here that we're looking at is doing a lot more for yourself instead of hiring others to do it. Eating at home. A lot of this is just involving the family, involving the whole household in the decision to do that. Doing what you can at home and finding ways to have free fun rather than spending money on it, and choosing the less expensive of the options that you have available. We're going to go ahead and close out the reading by pulling a Sacred Traveler Oracle card, and we're just going to see what our spirit guides have to tell us to close the reading as a final message here. There's a lot that are wanting to jump out of the deck. And so I usually just shuffle it the way that I feel compelled to. And we're going to go ahead and pull this card here because it's sticking out. It looks like it wants to come. So this final message here is breaking trail. And this says a breakthrough is at hand. And that tells me that we are on the right track, that all of these changes that we've made, that we've decided we're going to focus on, that's putting us on the right path, and we've got a breakthrough coming ahead. Good news. So I hope this has helped you, a nice sample reading of things that you can do to help focus yourself on perhaps something that in your life needs improvement or you need some clarity on. So I hope that's helped you all. I wish you all love, prosperity, peace, and abundance.